Hey guys, so believe it or not, this video was actually inspired by YouTube comments. And I know it's not that these comments have really gotten to me or made me upset, but have really drove an interesting question. Are motion controls a good thing or are they a bad thing? And I kind of wanted to talk about that today. Now, I'm talking about this because for my Switch reaction video, a lot of people seemed to get upset with me when I was making a big fuss about the motion controls in ARMS. And I didn't know at the time, it wasn't confirmed at the time that I was seeing that trailer, that we could use traditional controls. But that's the funny thing. I'm still not interested in playing that game with motion controls. So I kind of wanted to talk about this thing, why I used to absolutely adore motion controls, and why I think they are a huge waste of time now, and let's just get into it. I feel it's best that you understand my perspective behind this, so first things first, my first impressions of motion controls was that I thought they were going to absolutely revolutionize gaming completely. I thought they were going to be the next big thing. Everyone was going to just motion control everything. It was going to be so cool. I won't forget seeing that Revolution trailer. People were playing tennis. They were doing the shooting in Red Steel. There was the WarioWare Smooth Move games. Oh my god, it looks so awesome. And the first game that I played with motion controls, like pretty much everyone else, was Wii Sports. Now, I didn't buy the console at the time. I actually played Wii Baseball. That was the first one I ever played at a friend's house. Well, actually, funny enough, it was the first time I'd ever been to this person's house. But anyway, that's besides the point. We went ahead, we played some Wii Sports, and I tried the baseball, and I was swinging, and it was working. I was like waggling the controller, and the baseball was moving with my motion. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And you know, I was so into it. Like, my swings were so over-exaggerated. I actually pulled my arm muscles. That's how much I was into motion controls. I loved it so much that after a few months, I ended up buying my own Wii. Of course, came with Wii Sports. I also bought Super Mario Galaxy. That was actually the very first console that I bought with my own money. So I remember bringing the Wii home, playing it with my family and stuff. We played Wii Sports for a few weeks, about a month. We were like, yes, this is the greatest thing. There's tennis, you can play golf, and the boxing. It was so cool. And then, that's when I realized that you don't have to swing like a tennis racket. You can just do this. And this is when things started to go down for motion gaming. Now, of course, motion controls have gotten better, but we'll talk about that later. But when I realized you could do just this to swing a tennis racket, and this to swing a baseball bat, and this to bowl, and this to punch and boxing, that's when things really started to look down for motion controls, at least for me. And now let's talk about Super Mario Galaxy, because that's a game that really implements motion controls in a pretty good manner. Now, of course, the main things that you do with motion controls is you can flick your remote to do a spin jump, and you can aim and shoot star bits and collect them, and things like that. There's even a two-player mode where another person could aim and collect star bits and shoot them. In Mario Galaxy 2, of course, you could collect like one-ups and stun enemies and stuff. So I think for that game, motion controls were implemented pretty well. I still think that the spin jump could have been an actual button press instead, but it really wasn't that big a deal because it was very subtle, and I actually liked the motion controls in Mario Galaxy because it didn't really interfere with the controls. That's the big thing. And that's my main problem with motion controls. When games started to force them into like every game possible, even games that didn't need them, that's when I started to see the issues. When you started to see games where you could only aim and like you could only aim with the Wii remote and that's it, you couldn't just use traditional controls, that was a big problem. I actually have a quick list of games that I've played or I've heard of were really bad because of motion controls. Wii Music. Honestly, Wii Music sounded like a game that could have been really cool, but was ruined by the motion controls. It was all way too simplified. All you did was this to play the stupid game. But if you had like actual button combinations and button presses, it could have been a really complex, interesting, unique experience. But nope, you just did this, the drum, you did this, the trumpet, it wasn't good. Samba de Amigo, it was originally on the Dreamcast, people loved it, absolutely hated the Wii version. Of course, there's Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic and the Black Knight. Both of those games have motion controls that slows them down, just makes them not nearly as fun as normal Sonic games. Of course, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz, Slash, Step, and Roll. The motion controls are okay, but when you get to the harder stages in those games, it's really hard to make any progress, because you can't play a Monkey Ball game like this. It just doesn't work. And we were forced. That's the problem. With Monkey Ball, if we had the option of using a joystick to move the ball, as well as motion controls, I would have been fine with that. But that was not the case for these Monkey Ball games. And then Carnival games. I've played a little bit of Carnival games. You probably haven't heard of it. It was a mini-game compilation that was actually that was promoted rather heavily at the time. But it turns out the game itself was kind of meh, especially its sequel, Carnival Games Mini Golf. That game was even worse, because the motion controls didn't work that well. So really, when it comes down to it, there are only 3 games that I can think of where I didn't mind the motion controls, or it helped improve the experience. I can't talk. Anyway, so Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, I've already talked about those. I'm just going to kind of combine those as both the same game. Both of them use motion controls. I do wish they didn't really have them, but at the same time, I don't see it as that big a deal. And then there's WarioWare Smooth Moves. That game was actually very, very cool. It used the motion controls in a very clever way. Again, you know, you're supposed to have fun with it, like the elephant. You're supposed to play a game, the micro games where you're pretending that your nose is an elephant's nose, and there's all sorts of really fun micro games in WarioWare Smooth Moves. A very, very fun game. The only other game besides that actually improves the controls is Splatoon. Now, I saw a lot of people again in the comments saying, oh, you didn't like the ARMS game, but you like Splatoon 2? Well, yeah, because being able to aim like this with the gamepad playing Splatoon actually improved your accuracy. And that's not something I believed at first. When I first got Splatoon, I didn't use it. I used just a control stick. And I was like, yep, this is great. And then I realized I was, playing worse than everyone else. I couldn't aim as quickly, so I tried the gyro controls, I got used to it, and now I can't play Splatoon without it. And Splatoon 2, it's going to be the same thing. Really, really excited about that. That's why I'm excited, because the motion controls improved the game. They made the game easier and more accessible to play, which is amazing. I never thought I'd see a motion control game do it to that extent like Splatoon has. But it's one of the only games that I can think of off the top of my head that really improves the control experience. Now there's one motion control game that I should probably mention that's very controversial. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Some people absolutely love the motion controls, think that it makes the game better. Some people absolutely hate it and it ruined the experience for them. Now I have personally never played Skyward Sword, but that is an interesting argument. Now, from what I've heard, you can't play Skyward Sword without motion controls, you have to use them. And I think that is definitely a disadvantage regardless of how well they work or not, because some people just don't like doing this when they're playing games. They just want to push buttons, and that's it. So yeah, that's really my final thoughts. Again, I'm okay with motion controls if they improve the experience, but if it makes the game worse, if it makes the game harder to play, then it's just a waste of time. Or if it's simplifying the game, then again, it's a waste of time. Now I figured I'd also cover some counter arguments, and then I would give my thoughts on if I agree with them and if I don't agree with them. So I've seen some people tell me I don't like motion controls because I'm lazy and fat. Well, first off, yes, I am getting fatter, but that has nothing to do with motion controls. And lazy, I am the complete opposite of lazy. You should see how much I work. So motion controls has nothing to do with being lazy. And I kind of see what people are saying, like, oh, you don't want to just swing your arm around because you're going to get tired. No. You're not going to get exercise to swinging your arm around. Like, if you want to get exercise, play DDR. That's like the only video game I know of that can actually get people in shape. And actually, speaking of games to get me in shape, I used to play Rock Band a lot. I played the drums in Rock Band, all the hard songs on Expert. That actually built muscle in my arms, okay? Because I played that game 2 to 3 hours a day in high school. That was my thing. I played Rock Band. That game got me in shape. But doing this with tennis or bowling, no, that's not going to get you in shape. I'm sorry. And some people say that motion controls immerse you into the experience. And yeah, I have to say, some games do immerse you into the experience, like Splatoon does. But others, when the motion controls stop working, same when the button presses it makes the game feel laggy, or like you push the button and the thing doesn't happen right away. Same thing. If the motion controls don't work, it doesn't immerse me into the experience at all. And it seems like games that have motion controls are more likely to not work as well. And one of the last big counter arguments I've seen is that the Switch Joy-Cons have probably improved the motion controls. And you know what? They probably have. And I'm really hopeful that the motion control in the Joy-Cons is a lot better than this, even this with Wii Motion Plus. Of course, Wii Motion Plus is a lot better than this, but anyway, hopefully the Joy-Cons have even more improved motion controls to make ARMS an actually playable game. Now, people that have played ARMS already have said that the motion controls do work rather well, but still, I can't imagine people wanting to play like this for more than like 30 minutes to an hour. It's just gonna get not just exhausting, but just irritating and annoying. Like, I don't know about you, I will try the motion controls, see if I like them when I get ARMS, but I don't think I'm gonna stick with them, honestly. I'll be very, very surprised if I do. But hopefully the motion controls are improved. So I kind of just wanted to talk about that, the good and the bad of motion controls. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment too. Let me know what you think about motion controls. Are they a really good thing? Do you think I am completely wrong? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see some awesome discussion going on. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.